Nerd alert, dork face.
I am not a loser. I just have a bad haircut.
Kind of a major dork.
Oh, nerds.
If you're into science, tech, or unique hobbies, you're listening to the right show. On Get Nerdy With It, we interview nerds talking about their passions. This is Get Nerdy With It.
Welcome to Get Nerdy With It, episode number 46, recorded on Thursday, September 4th, 2014. I'm your host, Jennifer Ruggiero, and with us tonight, we have our regular panel. The whole gang is here, so I'm really excited because every night there always seems to be somebody out, and tonight we have everyone here. So, Andrew Nelson, hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Doing great. It's good to be back again. This is my second episode in a row, so I'm on a roll now.
You are on a roll. We're going to make it so it keeps on going, you know. So.
Absolutely.
Now, you got some news. You're going to be moving soon.
Sort of. Yeah, I'm going away again. It seems like I do this at least once or twice a year, but yeah, wow. I'm going to be going down to the first place we met, I guess, online. I'm going to be going back down to Mississippi.
That's right. That's where you were when we met in the Voxer chat. Yeah.
And that was only like a 1.5 month adventure. This time it's going to be 8 months, so I'm going to bring everything with me. So I won't have to be living off my phone. I'll actually have this whole computer system here, so we'll be good to go anyway.
So you'll bring that monster of the Windows 8.1 machine down with you.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean. Maybe I'll just buy another one.
It's a great machine. No, well, your machine spec-wise is awesome. It's just the OS. Is. Yeah.
I just I'm not really into downgrading as much as I don't like 8.1. I really still don't want to downgrade.
Of course not. No.
I'll tough it out and wait for Windows 9.
I think that's wise, definitely. And back with us this week, speaking about Windows 8, another Windows 8 user, Gerard Truesdale. Hey, Gerard, how are you?
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you? Did you have a good week?
Yeah, I had a good week. So far, so good. Thanks a lot for the other invitations to join the show again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm also having Windows 8.1 woes, Bluetooth drivers disappearing day by day, and all kinds of weird things. So I'm right there with you.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I never use my Windows 8.1 machine. It just kind of sits there, and so.
Yeah.
Is it a desktop or a tablet?
Which one are you talking to, Gerard?
No, your Windows 8.
Mine is the desktop, but it was an older one that I upgraded to Windows 8.1. So,
okay.
So it doesn't even, it's slow, and so I just don't even bother messing with it. But yeah, it's a desktop.
So you're regretting your decision now.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting a new Windows machine just to kind of go alongside my Mac and just to have that interface, but. We'll see. Maybe after Windows 9 rolls out, then I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. And also, welcome back to the show, Christopher Gagnon. He's been out for a few weeks as well, so stoked to have you back.
Hello. Glad to be back.
Busy man. What's been going on?
Oh, not much. Everything. It's first day back in Greensboro in about a week, so it's exciting.
I know Greensboro's exciting.
It is. That's why we call it Greensboring.
That's exactly
because we're so good at irony.
I know. Oh, gosh. Well, I'm happy to have you back on the show, so thanks for
glad to be back, Jennifer.
Being here. And also, welcoming back to the show, he's been on before. Actually, he's been on the show twice before, so this is his third time on the show. Mr. Andrew Cunningham from Zarfo.com and Rewind app. Hey, Andrew.
Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
I am super. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me back on the show. I love being here.
Oh, I'm so glad that you decided to come back, because I know you have a lot to talk about. A lot of new things have happened since we last spoke.
There's always things happening, isn't there?
Yeah.
The world just does not stop.
No, it doesn't, which is good. It's very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you have a good week?
Yeah, it's been really good. Really busy, but yeah, it's been fun. There's so much going on, and it's getting warmer now in Melbourne, so we're sort of just jumping into spring, and the football finals are starting here. The horse racing is just about to start, so it's a great time of year in Melbourne.
It's amazing how everything is so opposite. Here, it's our fall is going to start here soon, and then our football season starts tonight. Tonight is the beginning of the NFL.
It's crazy, isn't it? We're just like in our finals for our season, so it's...
I know. It's insane. I love it, though. I love it. And I saw a picture of Kim Flowers. She put up something... a picture of her pink pants saying, now it's spring, I want to wear color, and so I thought that was really neat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always funny seeing Americans over there be like, I want summer back, and I'm sitting here going, we're just about there.
Lucky. I'm ready though. I'm ready for fall. I'm really ready. It's been a hot summer, so yeah.
There you go.
Well, so first I thought we would get into some news, and then I want to hear all about Rewind app and what's going on with Zarfo overall as well, and then we'll talk about some apps as well.
Sounds great.
Okay, super. So let's get into it, and who would like to go first? Let's see. I know Andrew went first last time. Gerard, would you like to do your story first this week?
Yeah, sure. I can talk first, no problem.
Cool. So what you got for us?
Well, with all the recent talk about privacy and people's information going all kinds of different ways across the internet, with the iPhone, I thought I'd talk about something that regarding Android in terms of permissions that each app requires.
Oh, sorry. I thought your phone was going off. The
video happened to me
it's
too.
The video. I put the video on. Yeah, I clicked on the link on the video. Yeah, exactly. And the video launched. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, when we install Android apps, they ask for access to all kinds of data, from your location to your files in your phone to photographs, and I just wanted to kind of clarify and bring up the fact, just to talk about why this occurs, and to anybody listening, and just to educate a few people as well, maybe who aren't familiar with the wording that's used and why it's being used. So basically, I came across this article yesterday. I was doing a little bit of research, and it talks about the reason why Android asks you, for that information, and it isn't really so much to figure out where you are. It's really just the information that Google has written on their apps for permission. For example, when Facebook asks you for access to your camera, what they really mean is we need to get access to your pictures when you try to send a picture to somebody. They're not really asking. The application itself isn't really asking for, I would say, access to your pictures on your phone at all times. It's asking you to allow them to access your pictures when you're sending a photo or, maybe a file to somebody via Facebook or whatever app it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So in other words, it's just basically explaining, the article that you're talking about explains why these permissions are asked and what the true meaning behind them is.
Exactly, because to the average person, seeing that the permission, the whole form that comes up every time you download an app, and it's not just a Google app, it's any app on an Android phone, it can be kind of like, what's going on here? And just to clarify that, it's not really the app asking for your permissions, the way that Google has pretty much done their wording, and they've updated this, but and as opposed to Apple, which requires you to, at the time of using a certain part of your phone, they ask you for access at that time. Google's trying to get a little bit on their level, but as of right now, on the current version, it still looks pretty intrusive from the outside looking in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking, for example, in the article here, it's talking about, here's an app called Voice Snap, and it wants to access your photos, allow, don't allow. So
I feel like Google, and more specifically Android, they sort of take a worst case scenario approach when they're listing the type of permissions that an application wants. Like, for instance, on this page that we're looking at right here, which will be linked in the show notes or the blog, it says storage, modifier, delete USB storage contents. It doesn't mean that this app you're downloading wants to go in and snoop on the contents of your storage on your phone. It just means, hey, if you get a file from another person in this communication device, we want to be able to save it to your phone. Mm-hmm. Or take pictures and videos. It doesn't mean that this app wants to turn on your camera without you knowing and snoop on you. It just means, hey, maybe you want to send a video. We'll let you. The camera has functionality with this app. Things like that. And people just freak out when they see things like this because of the wording that Android chooses to display when you look at the type of permissions that the app is requesting.
I think they also have to do that because, it's really easy to hit the camera button or video button while it's in your pocket. And some people might be like, oh, they've done that on purpose. They've actually initiated the camera, not me. They send them some crummy lawsuit or something from the accountant or the lawyer on the corner when it was actually just in their pocket doing it. So as long as they've got these sorts of things in place, they can sort of protect themselves from that. And obviously it would come out in the wash that, you did this in your pocket by, pushing it against something, but who needs to go through all of the process and diligence of that?
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, I'm curious, do you guys even read the permissions when you install an app?
It depends what the app is and who the company is. Sometimes, yes, if it's a new app, definitely, but if it's sort of a Google or a Facebook app, I just assume that the permissions are going to be damning and,
Right.
What can you do? You either install it or you don't. But if it's a new app, I often do have a good look at it, yeah.
Yeah.
There are not too many times that I'll download an app that's not mainstream anyway to begin with.
Right.
I have maybe one app. It's a game that I was playing when I was when I was on an assignment and I didn't have my computer, and that's like the only app I have on my phone that isn't a big name company that I can know and trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. I don't really have too many non-mainstream apps, and in the past, I've taken a glance at the piece of, I guess the permission slip that's on there. But to me, it's just boilerplate language, just like reading a license agreement or something like that. But as of recently, I guess I should probably look at that a little closer. But I haven't really looked at it much in the past.
Yeah. How about you, Chris?
Well, it like one of the guys said, it just really depends on the on who makes the app. I mean, if it's a Facebook or a Google app or something that I kind of know the team behind it a little bit, I just kind of flip through that. Although there have been a couple surprises that you hear about, I kind of rely on the community. I feel like if there's an app that's going to be popular and is taking advantage in any way of its permissions or using those permissions, in some sort of, undercover way, usually we hear about it. Mm-hmm. If you pay attention, you'll hear about it, and people, even if it's just very much in the programmer culture or whatever, you'll hear people talking about it. You see a lot of that stuff on XDA.
Yeah, I rely a lot on the reviews, and then also the one thing that I love about downloading from Android versus iOS or in the App Store for Apple is all the +1s, because I have a lot of people that I follow that I actually trust, and when I see some of my techie friends that +1 an app, then I know, I'm like, oh, that's cool. They tried this app out. And then also their reviews will be highlighted because I'm friends with them. So those will be at the top of the reviews. So I can see which of my friends actually did review an app and how many stars they gave it. And, so I think that's really nice. I think Google Play does an excellent job of showing you, what your friends like. If you're looking at an app, if your friends downloaded it, and if they haven't, installed it, and if they wrote a review on it, and all that. So I look a lot at that. And then as far as reading, just like you, Andrew and Chris, I'll, do the same exact thing. If it's not a well-known app, I'll read the reviews. But if it's well-known, then, or not reviews, I'm sorry, the restrictions or permissions rather, then if it's well-known, I'll just blindly install.
So you saw my big, one-page review of Netflix when I was bored one day.
No, when did you do that? On Google
Plus? A few months ago, yeah, on Google Plus.
Or on Google Play, rather. Oh, no.
I wasn't doing anything, so I did this whole one-page spiel about this problem I've been having with it, and gave it 4 stars.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look right now. Let's see. Play.google.com, and I guess I should do this after the fact, but let's take a look. Let's see. Netflix.
Oh, my personal life is coming out now. Just gonna read my review to
I'm gonna read
the entire
review.
world.
Let's see. Here's the Netflix app, And let's see the people that plus one it. Description. Andrew Nelson, first one here. Picture freezes and app crashes at least, let's see, once every 3 episodes. I submitted several crash reports with detailed descriptions, and nothing has been done in months. I'm going to thumb up your review.
Actually, yeah, I think I redid that because I wrote my entire detailed description of what's been happening to me in the review, and then I was like, that seems stupid. People that should be in a crash report, not a review. So I ended up submitting in a crash report and changing the review. So that's right.
Well, I'll tell you what. Like even let's see, a friend of mine, Ronnie Hippler, did a review, 4 stars. John DeVere, 4 stars. There's some others here with just like 1 star, 1 star. So yeah, it's interesting. But good stuff.
Yeah, I've never really agreed with people that give 1-star reviews. There's not too many apps that actually deserve that. I feel like they just affect the average more adversely.
I mean, how could Netflix get a 1-star review?
Yeah, it's just someone that's like, well, a 3 star is not going to affect the average that much, so I might as well just give them a 1 star. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Somebody with an old machine and their stuff's not working right for them.
Right. So, well, good story. I like the story. Good one. And let's see. Andrew, would you like to go next? Andrew N?
Is that Andrew me? Alright, I can do it. Let's see. Let me just find my article here.
You always get some good ones from different websites, from the Air Force website.
I always like to pick DoD-related news because I know it's sort of my thing. It's my job, and nobody else does it. So, why don't I stick to the same category every week?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So this one I found kind of interesting because SpaceX, as we all know, is a privately funded company from the CEO of, who was it? I got to look it up now. I'm going to look it up real quick. The CEO of
Elon Musk,
Tesla,
the CEO
Elon
of
Musk.
Tesla.
Yeah, from Tesla Motors, that's right. And it's a privately funded space company that launches satellites, and they're planning on trying to do cargo runs to the ISS soon. And I found this surprising because they were actually supported by the Air Force in this particular launch. And I'm curious to know if they paid the Air Force for all the work that they did, or if the Air Force was maybe doing studies. The article is very very broad. It doesn't give a lot of information, but I just found that very interesting that the Air Force would support a private company like this, because me and a lot of other people probably assumed that they were just on their own, doing this completely unsupported by themselves. So what do you guys think? Have you ever heard of anything like this?
I have not. So I'm going to make sure I'm looking at the right article. The one, 45th Space Wing supports SpaceX launch of Asia Sat 8 satellite, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, so...
So it says the article goes on to say that they helped out with looking at the weather forecast to see if the launch would be successful.
How cool.
From a weather perspective, launch and range operations, security, safety, and public affairs. So they didn't really have a core team, but they had a lot of supporting operations.
Wow.
Right. Well, this Falcon 9 rocket that they have in tandem with the Dragon capsule actually has the commercial resupply services contract from NASA to resupply the ISS. So NASA has this new program called the Commercial Orbital Transportation Services Program, and basically they're beginning to privatize these sorts of resupplying the ISS. Falcon 9 is a launch vehicle that is somewhat reusable. And, NASA, I don't think just has the resources to really, they're pushing a different direction with some of their really heavy payload, rockets that they're thinking about going to Mars with and stuff like that. So I think that as they do this, it's a win-win. I think NASA gets, a great partner that's going to bear the cost and the risk of some of these small sort of orbital missions, and a company like SpaceX gets an incredible leg up technology-wise and being able to partner with NASA, and is far ahead of anyone else as far as I think the private space flight category goes, Virgin Galactic notwithstanding. So I think it's a really great thing. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was going to say, I think it favors the government if they can link up with private companies to do some of these sorts of things. Because if something was to go wrong, or there's information that's not great for the government per se, if it's a private organization, they almost have some level of plausible deniability. They can throw money at a private organization and say, hey, look, that's them. They're doing what they're doing. We're just helping out on the side. Whereas if it's themselves directly on NASA or something, they've got full responsibility over what happens.
Absolutely.
That's true too.
And from a of course funding standpoint, in 2011, SpaceX estimated that Falcon 9 development costs were somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 million. NASA evaluated the same process using their traditional cost plus contract, and they came in at $3.6 billion. So, right. So 10%. Basically, so there's going to, I don't know if it's just the bureaucracy or if it's, I think it's a lot what Andrew just said, the liability costs in layering that kind of engineering, because of what happens when there is a tragedy on the launch pad and what that does to NASA. I think, if they can give it to a company like SpaceX, they can do it for 10%. Now, the program ended up costing over $700 million all the way, combined development costs, and they basically split it with NASA. SpaceX paid the lion's share of it, $450 million. But I think it is a win-win. I think that going forward, that this is going to be how this kind of science gets done.
It almost seems like at the end, which I found kind of funny in a way, is Brigadier General Nina Armango actually says at the end of the article, "We'd like to thank SpaceX and all of our outstanding mission partners who made this mission a success." So it almost seems like SpaceX is supporting them, which is what you two gentlemen have been saying the entire time, as opposed to the Air Force actually supporting SpaceX. So these civilian contractors are giving a hand to the big dogs like NASA and the Air Force and things like that, as opposed to the other way around.
I think it's going to have to be in going forward in the near and medium future a combined effort. I don't think that the government can shoulder all of it. I mean, you've got DARPA putting satellites in orbit that can find other satellites, extract information, hijack them, and fly away. But I mean, as far as putting payloads in orbit, it's going to have to be commercial. I think hand in hand with the government, and I think it's great because I think anything that gets us closer to actual, real human space flight and getting us out of this cradle in this gravity well, the Earth, I think is brilliant.
You got anything for us, Jen?
No, I'm here. I'm
really
here.
Butt in much?
No, you know why? I was trying to handle the mic issues on the back end, so my apologies. No, keep on talking. You guys have had an excellent conversation, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So, yeah. No, really, you everyone. So, but Gerard just dropped. Sorry, Gerard. Thanks for being here, and we'll definitely put your links in the show notes. So he just had to drop. So, okay, so shall we move on? Chris, do you want to go over your story next, or?
Well, yeah, that's a great. That's actually a great bridge into it. What I thought was interesting is. Yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
It looks like Tesla announced that the location for its new Gigafactory is going to be Nevada, and while that is a newsworthy item certainly in itself, I just kind of wanted to use it to talk a little bit about what that really means. Right now, I think that Elon Musk is probably doing the most exciting things of any human on the planet. Between SpaceX, Tesla, I think that betting against him at this stage is probably the most foolhardy thing anyone could do. And remember, I'm at least peripherally in the automotive industry, and so I've got a front row seat to a lot of the battles that are happening with Tesla, as far as with the dealer networks and the protectionism that the U.S. government is extending, and to the automotive dealers and how that's playing out. However, what's really interesting to me is that, and I love that they coined this new term, Gigafactory. It didn't even exist. I mean, that's not something that existed, I don't think, before Tesla started talking about it.
I've never heard of the Gigafactory. I like it.
It's very exciting. It's going to be about 6,500 employees. They're looking at, in 2020, it's going to produce as many of these lithium-ion batteries that power his vehicles as are in worldwide use right now, just in that year. They've got this Model 3 coming out, a couple other. 2015 will be the year of Tesla. I mean, you will see them you will see them all over, no matter where not just in San Francisco, not just in New York. I see them here in North Carolina, fairly often, surprisingly often, but they're going to become really more commonplace. The problem that they were running into scaling that was battery production and how to provide. There was no one in the world that could make as many batteries as they needed, so they decided to make them themselves.
Good for
now
them.
They are in partnership with Panasonic to do this, which I believe was just announced in the last 2 or 3 weeks, although it's kind of a open secret for a while. But what's particularly fascinating to me about this, and really the reason I bring it up, that's all well and good, and it looks as though this is going to cost, billions and billions of dollars to build this. They're going to open in 2020. But lithium-ion battery technology is not the future of powering electric cars. And Tesla's at the forefront of talking about that sometimes, especially when you dig into some of their scientists' white papers. They know this. So this is a short-term play by him.
Interesting.
Which is what is a $5 billion short-term play, operational in 2020. However, I believe by 2030 that technology is already going to be obsolete, and they'll be using new battery technology. So, to me, when I look at this, and I know what kind of business minds are behind this, they're looking to recoup within 10 or 15 years and all that money plus make and basically saturate and make this play. So they're really looking to scale using something that I think they know is going to be obsolete. And to me, that's really fascinating, and a huge bet. It's a huge bet. They're facing regulatory scrutiny. They're being outlawed in some states that they can't sell in the United States.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know, I don't know, Andrew, if you're aware of that, but Andrew in Australia, but Tesla's got a huge kickback from the franchise automotive, by which I mean Ford, Chevrolet, GM, Ford, Honda, the imports. They have a huge pushback against selling their whole retail model of being able to go in a store in a mall and buy a car. That is, it's threatened to really upset the entire apple cart of that. And there's a lot of ancillary things that since I'm in the industry that's really interesting. For instance, service, oil changes and all these things they don't really happen in those cars, of course. So right. There's a and the unions which built this country and made it what it is, and I loved my day off and last week, and I know that's a serious subject. The people died at the Haymarket affair to give us that date. However, I think that this is a moment in our history in which their time has passed, and it is these unions, and there's only a few unions that exert considerable power anymore, the teachers union being one, mostly made up of well-meaning but horrible acting people, as well as the automotive industry. And that is another one that is really enforcing these protectionist policies. And to the point where I read an interview where he Elon Musk actually said, basically, hey, I'm giving up I can't fight it. We'll do whatever we can do where we can do it. But now when I see things like this, I know that smoke screen and that's a bunch of horse manure, and that they are absolutely feel like they are going to own the electric car segment moving forward, which is going to be the only segment in our lifetime.
Going forward. Yeah, eventually.
Going forward.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, as you say, with all of the industry that's going to be removed, oil checking and all these sorts of things, there's nowhere near as many, mechanical sort of parts in these vehicles. And the fact that Elon Musk has actually opened up the intellectual property, the IP for these batteries that they're going to create, so that anyone can effectively, apply and receive that and start generating content that can compete with them. I think it's a great play because it's opening up to an entirely new industry, because I think Elon Musk understands that his competitor is not the electric car company across the road. His competitor is the petrol car company. And I think he totally understands that. And the more electric that moves into the market...
Oh, Andrew, you still with us?
Actually becomes, and the more marketing, the more choice. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
The more marketing...
Oh.
the more they start to understand. Yep, is that?
I was just going to say what you just said again, because you're dropping out over here.
I was just going to say, sorry. I think Elon Musk understands that his competitor is not the across the road; it's the petrol-driven car company. Because the more organizations that invest in electric cars, the more that the consumer starts to understand and read articles about it, and the industry as a whole becomes bigger. So it can help them. So it's funny that if they get a few competitors, that's actually going to help their industry to become a big. And they've actually moved into Reno to do their, that build their factory is a fantastic thing that they're able to do that on new soil, instead of sort of trying to outsource to China or something like this. I think it's really great that they're doing that, and they're going to employ some people while doing so.
Absolutely. And I love, Andrew, that you bring that up. I didn't touch on that about how they opened up their patents and their intellectual property. And I think I may post this on the show notes. The blog post that Elon Musk wrote on June 12th is the greatest blog title ever for such an important piece of I think, really industry defining or in some way era defining thing that he did. Is called "All Our Patents Are Belong to You." What a great internet reference from a guy who gets it. And that is the name of his blog post where he announced that. And in doing that, you're absolutely right, Andrew. He really,
just tell me that investors aren't looking at it going, "Wow."
They probably think that he's lost his mind. However, at this point, you can think that, and you should still give him all your money, because he's. I think that he's cornered some interest that the space play, this electric car play. These are huge things. They're not just a product, or it's not like he just built Yo, and they're trying to figure out how Yo is going to change the world and revolutionize the world of apps. I mean, he's making huge plays. But it's a great, and it shows how in tune he is. When I read that, I think I laughed for like 15 minutes before I could even just read it. The rest of the blog post, but that's a great point. Those are his competitors. His competitors are the bureaucracy and inertia of fossil fuel technology as far as vehicles are concerned. And I think that he's going to welcome that competition. He says in this post, actually, to your point, Andrew, that he knows that Tesla will not be able to supply all the electric vehicles that will hit the market, and so he wants to encourage that the production be able to meet the demand, even if that's to giving his competitors this. So
it's funny because they haven't been able to meet the demand at all to date. So exactly as you say, if we can get them to meet demand by getting other competitors, that means that when someone goes to buy a new electric car. They've already had one. They understand they've got it in, and they'll look at the 3 or 4 choices available to them at the time of which one might be Tesla.
Yeah, but he's moved the market to that point instead of deciding between a Tesla and a dead dinosaur. They're looking already at that. So that's my news item, and I'm sticking with it.
I love it. I also love the fact that this is going to drive the price point down as well, which is fantastic. I didn't even realize that there was a $35,000 model. I thought,
Well, there's not yet. It's coming.
Okay.
I think Andrew, is it out yet? I don't think. I think it's coming this year.
I think it's coming. Yeah, I think it's coming. I mean, my wife and I actually bought a new car this week. We bought a Mazda CX-5.
Nice.
Great choice.
It's a really good car, and it's interesting because one of the things, if I'm buying a new car, I've got this whole expectation that, when can I have it? When can I have the keys? And, getting on a list to wait a year or two for a new Tesla, that to me is just going to be like, nah, I'd love a Tesla, but, I don't want to wait a year or two for a new car. If I can walk into a dealership today and get delivery next week, that's going to make a whole lot more sense to me. So just, jumping back, if they can start to actually get this demand out there, it'll be so much better.
Mm-hmm. And the wait list also, people have a tendency to drop off. I know if I'm on a wait list for something, it gives me a much longer time to change my mind, And that actually happened. When the smart car first came to the United States, there was a wait list for it, and I'm glad I didn't get it, but I was like, oh, yeah, I want one. So I went on the wait list for it, and then I changed my mind halfway into the year that I was waiting. I was like, it really is impractical. I really don't need it. And, so that's the one thing about the wait list.
A bit like Google Glass. I wanted Google Glass, a year ago and couldn't get it in Australia. And there was, as we know, a wait list and you have to be invited. But now if I could have it for the price tag that they want, I'd be like, no, I'm not that interested because the buzz is kind of passed already.
Exactly.
But a year ago, I would have walked over Glass to give them the money.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you what, I kind of like when I got mine, I was excited, but at the same time, I wasn't as excited as I should have been, and then after a month, it's just kind of like I never even touch them anymore. They just they just sit there, so yeah.
Well, and for what it's worth, this was their plan all along, was to build the Roadster, use the money that they made from having this premium high cost vehicle, as well as the cachet and the brand, and there was a lot that went. Then they were going to use that. They put 100% of profits back into R&D. They used that money to build an affordable car, and then they want to use that money to build an even more affordable car before they take any money out of the company. So they actually were leveraging all that as part of the plan. He has a blog post from 2006 where he lays that out.
Wow.
Interesting.
It is very interesting. Yeah. Well, you've done your research on him. You know his stuff, so that's for sure. Andrew N., any feedback on this before we move on to the next story?
Nope. No,
Okay.
Not really. I've just been, I've been absorbed into it, listening to it. Not nearly as knowledgeable on the subject as these other two gentlemen, so no, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, very well said. Well said. All right, well, this last story that I found, this is from Engadget.com. I found it quite entertaining, actually. So there is a Chinese search engine, a search giant called Baidu. I think that's how I pronounce it, Baidu, or how we pronounce it. And they have formally launched their answer to Google Glass. So, but unlike Google Glass, it doesn't have a display. It's actually a headset called the Baidu Eye, and it wraps behind your head instead, and it recognizes your voice and gesture commands, including the ability to actually look anything up that you want to search. So all you have to do is circle it with your finger, and then the system will send that, we'll see what you're circling, and then search for that item and send back those results to your smartphone. So it's quite interesting. So it's a little bit different, actually a lot different from Google Glass. And then in addition to that, they actually did, on April Fool's, they did something called Smart Chopsticks as an April Fool's joke. Well, this company actually decided to launch something called Smart Chopsticks for real. And what this does is a high-tech utensil that you can use to eat, but what it does is it actually detects the quality of oil in your food. So I don't know if you guys know this, but in China, there's a big issue with gutter oil. And the cheaper and the bad restaurants, they're using gutter oil, and that's exactly what it is. It's disgusting. If you don't know about it, Google search gutter oil, and it's like sludge that they get out of the gutter, and they process it, and they make it into an oil that they cook in. It's the most disgusting thing ever. Ever.
Gross.
Oh my God. Oh God. Yeah. When we were doing Tech Anarchy, we did a whole segment on it. It was horrible. But anyway, so what this will do, these chopsticks can actually determine what kind of oil, if it's like gutter oil. So if you're about to eat something and you put your chopsticks on the food, it will tell you whether or not that oil is rancid, if it's gutter oil, and whether or not you should eat that food. So really, really cool. It tests the pH levels and tells you, if it's how healthy the food is that you're eating. So, yeah. Would you guys?
If you get to the point where you're already putting your chopsticks in it, it doesn't matter because you already bought it.
Yeah, that's true. You already bought
That's
it.
what I was about to say. Like, it might be dirty oil, but I'm like, that smells awfully tasty.
I would return it if I knew that it was cooked in bad oil. I'd be like, this is going back.
Excuse me, sir. My chopsticks are lighting up, so I want to return this. I don't know if that's gonna fly.
Have you got something with, say, better oil?
Oh gosh, I guess that way you'll know at least not to eat in those restaurants. And it's sick that you even have to test that kind of stuff. It'd be nice if we had something like that here in the States, though, just to kind of test like how bad is the food you're eating.
I love you Americans, but you do not want something like that in the States.
No.
You must have had some bad food when you were out here, Andrew, last summer or last spring.
The food's good, but it's there's a lot of greasy food, that's for sure.
There's a lot of unhealthy people in the Did you notice that? How many unhealthy people there are in the United States?
Marginally. We have a lot of unhealthy people here in Australia as well. I think we're probably second to America as far as, obesity and things like that. So I did notice it, but only marginally, to be honest.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that we're not far, behind.
Yeah, exactly. You've got some competition here. We're working on it.
We're so proud.
We've got Dunkin' Donuts, and we've got Krispy Kreme, and McDonald's, and KFC. All the good kids are here.
Oh my gosh! Oh goodness.
Jen, what would you want it to light up in the presence of? High fructose corn syrup?
Yeah, or meat, yeah, anything not vegan.
I'd want to know about palm oil. I don't know if you guys know palm oil is really bad for you.
Palm oil is bad for you too?
Yeah, palm oil is really bad because it sticks around in your body, whereas most other oils don't.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
So you'll find a lot of potato chips and things use palm oil because it's really cheap, but if you have a look, palm oil is one of the worst for you.
So it doesn't go through your system.
Eating potato chips right now. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, look.
Have a look on the back and let us know if it's made with palm oil.
Yeah.
Nope, canola oil. I think I'm good.
Canola
oil
bad.
Good. Anything partially hydrogenated. So I'd like it to detect that. And also maybe just it'd be cool if it could really tell you the nutrient value of what you're eating. Like if you could have something that a stick that you stick in your food and it tells you what kind of vitamins and minerals and how many calories and how much fat, just the whole. Wouldn't that be awesome?
A little poultry thermometer you can just shove into anything.
Whoa.
Yeah, like that. But it would just tell you just the entire nutritional value. That's what I want. I think that would be sweet.
Invent it. You'd be rich.
I would be rich. Unfortunately, I'm not that smart, so I can't do it.
Well,
just going back to potato chips for a second, we are living in the golden age of potato chips. I don't know if you realize this. Today at the store, I found baby back rib potato chips, pico de gallo potato chips, cappuccino flavored potato kit, cheddar mac and cheese with bacon flavored potato chips.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh.
No, I couldn't make this up. Well, I could.
Lay's has some
I'm not.
very odd flavors.
What in the world?
Yeah, and that's not even in the ethnic food section. Go in the ethnic food section. and you will find some really interesting stuff. But yeah,
I think that should be like the heading for this show. We are living in the golden age of potato chips. I mean, what does that even mean?
Yeah, that is a good. We should change the line.
It means listen to this podcast. You will not learn anything.
I have to admit, I went to a 7-Eleven while I was in the States, and I was in a little motel thing in Austin for like a week. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go into the 7-Eleven, buy a couple of things, buy a couple of unhealthy snacks to put on the bench when you come back at night. And they've got these Cheetos, and the bag of Cheetos chips was almost as big as me. I could not believe it. And I get to the counter, and the guy's like, yeah, that'll be $2. I'm like, what, for all of them? It was just like crazy.
Well, you missed it. Guess what they have in the 7-Eleven now, Andrew? And I know that you're probably going to book a flight here tonight just because of this. They have deep-fried Doritos stuffed with melted cheese.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Sounds disgusting.
They're called 3D, as in dead, and you will die.
Oh, my.
I think is what that stands for. But yeah, I have seen them. There's a 7-Eleven in Charlotte that, they're called Doritos Loaded, but I think they started with the 3D. I think they got rid of that nomenclature. Yeah, they're absolutely disgusting.
In the fish and chip shops in Australia, you can buy deep-fried Mars bar.
You can what?
You know of Mars bars?
Well, yeah, the Mars bars. Yeah.
You can buy them deep-fried here in Australia.
No kidding. Wow, I have not tried it. Is it tasty?
I haven't tried it, but there's a few fish and chip shops in Melbourne that do it. I actually have a friend who's a big health nut, huge health nut. He loves his mum's Sunday roast cooking, all these sorts of things, really healthy, goes to the gym. He went to the States not that long ago, and he said trying to find the good food was absolutely killing him. Everything was just, not great for you, particularly considering he was doing conferences and backward and forward, so he didn't really have time to actually sit down for a decent meal. And they went to a restaurant, and they ordered up some food, and it was a good steak, and he said it was fantastic. And then they ordered dessert, and he was like, oh, great, a piece of cheesecake, just like Australia. Awesome, I'll have it. And his cheesecake came out deep fried and battered, and it wasn't on the menu. It was deep fried and battered. And he said he'd been waiting like half an hour for the desserts to come, and he was all pumped up ready for it. And when it came and it was just this deep fried thing covered in sugar, he literally jumped up and cracked the sides with the waiter. He's like, what the hell is this? Where's my cheesecake?
Oh, how funny. Oh,
just to reel it back in for a second, I'm looking at the page for that Baidu headset, and at the top of it, it just says breaking news: Tesla's battery Gigafactory is coming to Nevada. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, isn't that funny? That's funny. Yeah, that is.
Well, let me reel it back out for a second. Then, see, I don't share this often pieces of my personal life, but you guys got to hear this. So, last weekend, in honor, it wasn't in honor of anything actually. Deep fried tequila shots. I did that.
How does that even work? You need to explain this because I'm intrigued.
It is intriguing. So basically, what you do is you take. They were so good. You take angel food cake cubes and you soak them in tequila and you flash fry them.
Oh.
And then you put them in a shot glass rimmed with sugar. And they will put you on the ground. But they're so good.
So you get basically you're maybe making angel food cake in an ice cube tray or something. So you get these little cubes of angel food cake and you soak it with tequila?
Jen, the last thing I tried to make for myself was macaroni and cheese, and I forgot to drain it. So I'm not the guy to ask about stuff like that. But however Tara, bless her heart, may she live forever, made them. And that what I just told you was the basic gist of it. They were good. They're so good. You're like, oh, these are so good. You're throwing back, and you're like, oh, this is great. I don't even.
Oh my god.
And then you get up and you fall down, and you're like, this is the best. This cake has me drunk.
That's fantastic.
So it's not quite that bad, but they're very good, and I recommend it to anyone who needs extremely creative ways to imbibe.
Just trying to think of how you would even deep fry that, though. I mean,
I saw the article, and it was really cool. As you said, the angel food cake, it's like a $2 block cake thing from the local market, but you just literally cut it up, you soak the hell out of it in tequila, you chuck it in the deep fryer. That's it. It's in there for 30 seconds. You take it out. It says you dust it with sugar because it's not bad enough being full of angel cakes.
I'm just thinking of some really unique
tequila.
ways to
Got to dust
destroy
that crap
themselves.
of sugar. Yeah, and it looked fabulous. Like I was looking at it, going, I need to make those.
It's like it's like a 1-2 punch. As if your liver wasn't enough, we're gonna hit your arteries too. Perfect. Yes.
I want to try this, even though I don't usually eat fried food, but I want to try this. Definitely.
I mean, my liver keeps petitioning the UN to have me named a terrorist organization. So, I mean, it knows what's happening. But the great thing about this, though, I saw the article. I was going to a cookout at my friend and his wife's house. I texted him the link, and he was like on it, and they made it when I got there. And it was one of those things we were going to do because it was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But it ended up being really good.
That's awesome. That's great. I'm going to have to try it, definitely. Yeah.
So we can reel it back in now, but I just wanted to share that.
We should do a show, Chris, and all of us. We should do a show where we all have one like every 20 minutes or something, and then just see where we are at the end of the show.
I do that every week anyway, Jen.
I haven't done that in ages, so...
I thought we established this.
I know that. You and
every
Andrew
time somebody drops out, I do a shot. It's a great drinking game.
It's funny. That's great. I love it.
You guys making fun of me? Because I'm back now.
We were talking about drinking. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about drinking. I have to go pour myself another vodka. So
Is that what you did? Did you do that, really?
Yes.
Oh, how funny.
Andrew, this is terrible press for your companies. I am so sorry.
That's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
Oh, well, let's
He'll be like, listen in at the 56-58 mark. Skip everything.
Exactly.
Skip everything before that.
Exactly. No, that's
hi
cool.
to Zarfo and all the Zarfo people that just joined us.
Zarfonians. The
Zarfonians. That's right.
Yeah, is that what you call yourselves? Do you call yourselves the Zarfonians?
It's not an official one, but the name has been bandied around before. Yes.
I like that. So let's get into the interview. So you are the creator of Zarfo, and can you tell what? So you've been on the show before, but for people that don't know what Zarfo is, can you explain what you guys do?
Yeah, sure. We have an app that allows you to create live video and also create a 30-second or 1-minute video and share that out to any other sort of social network. So it's basically a social app that's based around video where you can click on the red button at the bottom, click go live, and that will create a live stream that goes out to your friends via desktop or their, whatever handset they're using, and they can watch a live stream of you in real time. So if you've got a birthday or, a party, a wedding, anything like that, you in a couple of clicks be sending that out through your existing networks. There are other companies that obviously do sort of live streaming and things like that, but we pride ourselves on having a user experience that's a whole lot easier than the majority of others, and we're really trying to push that through to younger audiences and younger markets.
And it is so much easier. For example, when you take a video on your phone, if you don't have an app to share it with, it's kind of a tedious process to have to attach it or upload it to YouTube, or and that takes forever, and then there's the whole privacy thing, and so to be able to use something like this instead and just quickly take a video and just instantly share it or do a live stream, that's really, really cool. It's very different, and it makes it a lot easier to do that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. Just make it easy and remove that user experience. When I actually got married, I did a live Zarfo broadcast, and I had friends over in the States who were watching at whatever crazy hour that was for you guys there. And one of my friends, she said she was watching it, and she was in tears the whole time because, there's something emotional about watching a live web broadcast from the other side of the world that you can't capture, the next day watching it uploaded to YouTube, for example. So there's a real connection there, and as long as we can get the experience really simple and easy, that's where the success is. So we've got members from 100 countries around the world using the platform now, so we're quite happy with what we're doing there, and there's a lot of things that we're constantly changing and bringing in line with what the market wants. And we also released a new app quite recently as well, just around what we've learnt with Zarfo.
Mm-hmm. And well, first, I want to ask you really quick. So Zarfo launched officially at South by Southwest, right?
Yeah, correct. We launched the app officially at South by in March of this year. So I flew out there and had some of the guys, Chris Voss and Jason Nunnally and a few others, help promote the app through some of the circles there. And we learnt a lot about what was good with the app, and learnt a lot about some of the things that people didn't quite like as well. So it was really good information. And then I went over to San Francisco and spent a bit of time and spoke to a few people in there as well. So it's been really good, and we're constantly trying to make it a better platform. So
excellent. And then now I guess Jason joined your team, did he not? Or
yeah, he did. He joined our team before South by Southwest. So basically, Jason is our Chief Operations Officer, and he has been working quite closely with us.
That's awesome.
Trying to manage and work with the guys here to make sure that we're on task with what we're doing, and obviously with promotion and stuff like that. So he's been really invaluable as a part of our team.
That's great. It's great how you can find these team members through the online world too. I think that's how you guys met initially, was through social networking, right? I guess.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is, and it's hard though because he is in a different time zone to us. When we usually have a 10 a.m. meeting via video, probably 2 or 3 times a week, and for him that's sort of 6 p.m. So by the time we actually have a meeting, we discuss for an hour, then we talk about what we want to do. It gets to 3 or 4 in our day, and we're like, hey, is Jason still up? We want to show him this. And for him, he's like in bed, and his wife's going, oh, you're still talking to those Aussies. So it can be a real challenge.
Well, because 10 a.m., well, let's see, because he's California time, right? He's Pacific time?
No, he's in Alabama, which is Chicago.
Oh, okay, so he's he's Central. Okay, Central time. I see. Yeah, okay.
So it's it can be good. Yeah. We're convinced he just doesn't sleep. He lives on oxygen or something, or I don't know, lemon tea, whatever it is. But we're convinced he doesn't sleep.
Oh my God, it's funny. It's funny. Well, so you guys put out Rewind recently.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did that about a week ago now.
Mm-hmm. And congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's been a whole lot of fun, and that was really just a case of, having worked on the Zarfo app for some time, we sort of sat down as a team and said, let's just take some time out and spend a month and build something that's a bit of fun, something that's a bit different, and really try and get something that's quick and easy and suits an emerging market of Generation Y, Generation Z, and younger audiences who we've noticed have quite a substantially, shorter attention span. With Generation Z, you have 12 seconds to capture their attention. With Generation Y, you have 8 seconds to capture their attention.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, 8 seconds. So you talk to someone in their teens, early 20s, in 8 seconds. If they're not captured, they're not interested. They're looking at the sky.
Is that funny? It's interesting. So the attention span has definitely gotten much shorter, I guess. So
did you guys really?
Sorry,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What is
I was going to say we actually picked a lot of data. We picked a lot of data from Zarfo to sort of work through Rewind and build that product based on a lot of what we'd learnt before it.
And Chris had a good question. I'm sorry. No, Andrew had a good question. What was that, Andrew?
In regards to Zarfo, what is Rewind? Is it a completely new app? Is it built off Zarfo?
Yeah, sure. It's a completely new app. It's built off Zarfo in that it's using the same team. We're using some chunks of the same code and things like that, but it's a totally separate app. So it's a different sign-up, different platform. What Rewind basically is you create a 4-second video 2 seconds forward, and then it rewinds it for 2 seconds. So basically, it's a 2-second video that goes forward and then goes backwards. You can import that from your camera roll because it can be tricky trying to get that special 2 seconds. So you could sort of make a 1-minute video and then cut it from your camera roll. And the whole idea is it's just an amusing play. It's just an amusing play on everyday life things that can happen. So if you imagine dropping your car keys on the floor, if you take a video of that, you drop your keys on the floor, it goes down, and then all of a sudden in reverse it comes straight back into your hand like some Jedi mind trick or something. And there's people who are doing the ALS challenge and putting a bucket of water over their head, and then the water all comes back and goes into the bucket. And it just looks funny.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I get it. When I was, from those I'm dating myself now, but the old Super 8 videos, right? I would always go with I'm probably the oldest one here. So with the Super 8 videos, we used to have it, and so we used to do the projector, and then I would always put the projector in reverse just to watch the same scene in reverse because it was funny. Like if someone, I don't know, like a baby vomiting, which is terrible, but then the vomit would go back in the mouth.
It's funny you say that because that was my wife's first rewind of our 4-month-old son. Yeah,
oh, Miles,
she's like, this would be really hilarious. Yeah. Poor Miles.
It is funny. I don't know why it's funny. It's not, but it is. But
it is. Look, we found that, as I said, you can watch 5 or 6 rewinds, and 3 of them are going to give you a good laugh, and you can do that in 30 seconds, and then put your phone back in your pocket again. Take it out a few hours later that afternoon, do it again, have a look at 30, 40 seconds, a minute worth of rewinds on the train, have a laugh, put it away again. And this is the way that we're seeing people these days are using a lot of their social. They don't want to fully engage with something. They just want to casually play with it, put it away again, and be done. And so we're finding a lot of success with Rewind in doing that. But again, we've only had it out for a week, and we're learning a lot as we go and making small changes to user experience and things like that in upcoming versions.
Now, Rewind is only for iOS now, but are you thinking about bringing it to Android too? Or
Absolutely. We've already started doing some Android development, and we've got someone on board who's going to take over on that. So we're very heavily geared towards having an Android app. We know how important it is, how crucial it is, obviously, with the market. iOS is definitely an easier platform, I guess, to work with, in that there's, it's a lot more singular as far as what devices you have to build for. So we want to really get the product out there and learn what we can with iOS, which we're doing as we speak. And once we do that, really push back into Android. And so at the moment, the whole thing is it's just simple. If you go left and right, you scroll left and right, you can look at Rewind videos. And if you click the up, if you gesture up on the handset, you can view the settings and the videos that you've favorited. And if you gesture down on your handset, so you just with your thumb swipe down, it will load the camera and allow you to create a rewind. So we're really trying to make the experience simple and easy.
It's pretty cool. Like I'm looking at it right now, and here's one with a water slide, and watching the water slide in reverse is really awesome because watching the splash go back in, and it's and jumping, and there's some cool whoa, cliff diving. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
There's some cool ones here. Oh gosh.
Now you guys put this together in a month?
Yeah, we started. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm fascinated.
Yeah, we started on July 4th. Funny day in America, right? So we actually started development on the 4th of July, and we sort of finished around the start of August, and we've spent the last couple of weeks or so sort of thinking through some of our strategy for deployment. But the actual tech side was a 4-week build, and we've got some big PR starting at the moment, and we've got another big campaign starting at the middle of September, which hopefully we'll really get the app out there, and we're kind of hoping that we might be able to even have some Android stuff by sort of mid to late September when we've got a big PR push moving through.
Oh, cool.
Excellent.
So obviously,
very cool.
everyone get in there and download the app. And make sure you share it with your friends. And as I said, the whole thing is just it's a timeout for our team. We've been working on Zarfo for a long time, and like anyone at their work, things can get a bit boring at times. Maybe the idea of Rewind is just to take some time out and to build a product for a market that has a shrinking attention span. And that's not to say anything poor about the market. The reality is Generation Y, Generation Z, these guys have so much information that they're constantly in front of them. Everything is in their pockets. So they have the ability to have a look at something, quickly make a decision, and move on to the very next thing. So it's an interesting time that we live in.
What's this one that I'm watching of our friend Brad Tech Webcast throwing money down at Jacob Jones?
I do not know.
Have you seen that one?
I have not. I don't think I have.
It's hysterical. It's a picture of Jacob on Brad's iPad Air, and Brad's throwing money at him, and it's just funny. It's funny. And then there's another one of Jacob.
Wow. Yeah, there's been some really funny ones created. So some.
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted now with the app. I should put it down. Okay.
Like the app in China and some of the Asian markets too, which has been really interesting.
Oh, cool! So it's launched worldwide.
Yeah, it's available worldwide, and we actually have done a lot of work on trying to ensure that we use as many sort of icons and visual things like that throughout the app to make it so that it's usable in most sort of countries without language barriers.
It sounds like someone's making a drink here.
No, someone not on mute thinks they are.
So you make me a drink. I'll have one. Thank you.
Make mine a double.
So do you have any more vacations coming up soon? Any more apps that you're going to be making in addition to Zarfo?
Look, there's a couple more app ideas that we're working through and we're thinking through at the moment. But we've got to see how it goes. At the end of the day, it costs time, effort, and money to make apps. I've got a team in this room of 4 people, and we've got Jason over in the US. So there's 5 of us that need to be fed on the way through. Mm-hmm. So while we've got a number of ideas and things that we'd love to work on, at the end of the day, people pay rent with money. So if there's anyone out there who'd like to back a team with ability, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And we do obviously have some monetization thoughts around the Rewind app. So there's things that we'll look at, particularly as we start to grow. But as far as the app growth is concerned, it's been a considerably greater growth than what we've had with the Zarfo app, which isn't to say that that's not a good app, but it's just to say that we think we're really finding a space with how we can access people's attention spans and quickly feed them something that they want to play with, that they can use and then put away and bring back out again later on.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with it. Definitely. I mean, and that's kind of what we want. Sometimes we just want something fun to zone out and just kind of look at a stream of foolishness, and that just kind of takes us away from the stress of our everyday lives. And even like that's what I'll do when I'm scrolling through Facebook or G+. I'll just kind of quickly scroll through. Like in the morning when I wake up, I just kind of quickly scroll through and just kind of see whatever's out there, and not looking for any engaging content. I'm just kind of mindlessly waking up, So I think it's a great space to be in. So
now, when you're looking at the monetization, as you're looking at the monetization problem, are you I imagine you're following Snapchat and what they're doing with stories and that sort of thing very closely right now?
Yeah, we are. So I think there's a number of ways of monetizing these sorts of platforms. And we've certainly got a few of them in our business plan, in our PPM document. But it's a tricky one as well, because in Australia particularly, when you go after financing through venture capital and things like that, they're really keen to know how are you going to monetize it? How much money have you made in the last week of your app? All of these sorts of things. Whereas in the US economy, they're not as worried about monetization for these sorts of things. They accept that a team of technology people create this kind of platform. The monetization comes from bums on seats. It comes from how many people are using it, how many people are engaging. Once you have user engagement, monetization is easy. Having a way that makes sense, that's reasonably subtle, and that doesn't annoy your existing users, that's where you need a bit of help from branding or advertising, executives or professionals. But ultimately, getting a team of tech guys to talk about how they're going to monetize something isn't the best play. Our job is to put bums on seats, to get people using it and engaging. And once we do that, then we can really, really quickly push through what our concept is and get people to actually challenge that and build on top of that.
Right.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck with this and building, monetizing platform off of both of these apps, and the success with Zarfo going forward. And I think everyone just needs to go out and download. If you have an iOS device, especially download Rewind. I guess you could find Rewind in the App Store just by it's RWND if you just search that, as well as Zarfo. And Zarfo, you can do it from the website as well, right? So they could just go to zarfo.com.
Yeah, exactly. And you can actually, if you've got an Android device, you can go to Rewind, rwnd.com. Actually, it's rewindapp.com. So rwindapp.com/carousel. CAROUSEL. So if you go to rewindapp.com/carousel, you'll see the top 10 or 15 trending videos right now. So it allows you, without downloading the app, just to have a look at what the app effectively does, and you can have a look at what the most popular trending videos are as we speak.
That is great. So rewindapp.com/carousel.
Yep, and we'll be pushing the carousel onto the main page shortly as well. So it's we're just working through a few things with it, and there's a lot that we'll be doing with the whole platform as it moves forward. But the idea is to start really simple and start easy, and actually build features and functions into the app as the market asks for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm excited for you. This is great stuff. So. And anytime you want to come back on later, after if there's new enhancements or whatever, definitely would love to have you back on. So to talk about it, definitely.
Absolutely, really appreciate you having me on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome, and don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. So we're almost done. So while we're talking about apps, I'd like to go into our pick of the week segment. This is where we recommend an app or a device. Or not device, rather, an app or service or platform that we are using, some extension, whatever it is that we kind of think is cool and we want to share with you. So I'll go first this time, if that's all right, since I think, who was it? Oh, I guess Gerard went first last time. But my app, this is really awesome. Now, something on iOS, we have a Do Not Disturb, which is one of my favorite features because I can just throw my phone on Do Not Disturb and it silences everything, and I have it set to do it every night. And, someone, for example, sent me a text message at 1:30 in the morning the other night. No, it was not a booty call. I'm not that lucky. I'm just kidding. No, it wasn't that. It was Jen. I'm locked out of my Apple ID. How do I reset my Apple ID password? That was the text I got at 1:30.
So it was your mom.
No, it wasn't my mom. It was a guy. It was a guy that should know better. I
mean, that might be kind of a nerdy booty call, though.
Maybe so. It could have been. I don't know.
It's tough to pick
Did
up.
Did it require you going over to someone's house?
You guys might be right. Maybe it wasn't. All I know
I'm locked out of my Apple ID. Please come over and let me in.
So, but
you dug yourself
between the
hole.
lines there, Jen.
Now Jen's sitting there going, damn, that was a pretty cool. I missed out on that.
And now I'm just like, oh, man. No, so I'm red.
You have a link in the show now. Whoever it was.
So the point
She's
is,
distracted
I
because she's
missed-
messaging this guy back. As it turns out, I can come over and
So
let
I
you in
missed
tonight.
I
I'm
missed
so
the
sorry.
booty call because I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. So so anyway, but I'm glad actually. I would not have taken this guy up on his app request on his password request.
Ooh, now you can't send a show link. Don't do it.
Sassy.
So anyway, for Android, there isn't really a great option for it. It depends on the kind of phone you have, and some of the phones don't have this built into it. So this app is one that will do it for you. It is called Silence Premium Do Not Disturb, and there's a free version as well. This version that I have is $1.95 by Caboose Software, and I really like it because not only does it put your phone on Do Not Disturb, but you can program certain times of day or night for it to automatically go on Do Not Disturb. It also will read your calendar. So it will see when you have meetings scheduled in your calendar and automatically put your phone on silent or Do Not Disturb during those meeting times. And then you can set trigger words within the calendar and meeting makers as well, so that it can only, let's say if you don't want it to silence out for all calendar invitations but only for some appointments, as long as those appointments have those trigger words, it will work off of that. Really smart app, works extremely well, quick to turn on and off. I highly recommend it. So that's my pick. Silence Premium Do Not Disturb.
Is there a free version?
There's a free version just called Do Not Disturb by the same company.
Do not install if you're expecting booty calls.
Warning. So
Or just tell your booty caller to put in a trigger word.
you could do it, yeah. Or
There you go.
I think there's a way that you can make it so that it will allow calls from certain people, so you can have certain exclusions, I believe. So you could do that too.
So if you're expecting a booty call from someone,
yeah,
That's called the booty list in the app.
the booty list. Too
Perfect.
funny. And that's my pick. Who would like to go next?
go ahead, Chris.
Okay, I've got a couple. I think I normally really try to put something extraordinarily useful or something that I think has changed my life, and I'm going to go very much in the opposite direction this week. I've got two picks. The first pick is an app called Ultra Text. These are iOS apps. I'm not aware if they're on Android or not, so I apologize. But if you have an iPhone, this app called Ultra Text is could conversely be the most annoying / coolest thing that you've ever are going to foist on your friends and family. It actually takes the words that you or letters or words, emojis, and pictures, which can get. I've gotten extraordinarily creative and pretty awesome with throwing selfies in there, and it creates each word. It makes a GIF. So each word is this pastel-colored, huge block thing that if your other user is on an iOS device, it plays the GIF automatically in iMessage. So there you are, you're just talking to someone, you get your iMessage thread, and all of a sudden you've got this huge flashing message that pops up on their phone, and they have no idea how you did it. You will seem like a wizard.
An iMessage, you need to send me an iMessage with this. I want to see it. That is cool.
I'll send you one right now.
Okay,
and
cool.
You can see this. It is the coolest thing ever. And it also enables, you can post it to Instagram, which I have done, and I have a particularly kind of crazy one that I put on my Instagram.
Which one is your?
Oh, and I just sent.
Is your iPhone? Is it the one ending in 1420?
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you for not blowing me up in front of the tens of thousands of listeners that we have.
There
I'm
you
sending you an iMessage so you
We're all gonna
have
brute force your phone number now.
so you have my iPhone number.
All we need is your zip code, and it's a 1 in 1,000 chance.
That's right, except for I picked a zip code in an entirely different state to be really difficult at one point in my life. So, but you can still brute force it. All right, so let's see. And am I sending this back to ending in 1-8?
Yes.
Okay, so there it goes. But you can it also posts to WhatsApp. as well. Although when you send it to an Android device or to what, did you get it?
Yes, this.
And that selfie is the reason why we have not moved into video yet. Just
love
so
it.
you know, I haven't had a haircut in like 16 months.
I love your long hair. It looks cool.
So yeah, it's just it goes in every direction but down, which is great. It makes me look super smart.
This is so cool. It makes you look kind of it does make you look smart.
I need all the help I can.
It looks good.
So that is, and it's a free app. I don't know if there's a premium. Honestly, whenever I download an app, I buy every single thing associated with that app that I possibly can.
Yeah, it looks like
if I like the app.
A 99-cent in-app purchase.
So there it is. So I guess there was a 99% in-app purchase, but it is really, really cool, and I have managed to not lose any friends over it yet. The second pick, so it's called Ultra Text. The second pick is a little more
risque.
It's
rated 12 plus for alcohol, tobacco, and drug use.
Well, imagine it's from the former chief scientist of Twitter. So just imagine what Twitter must be rated. If you have the Twitter feed, I do. And so what this is it's called Steven. And what an annoyingly pretentious and horrible title, Steven, Your Emoji Life. Obviously, they need some help with marketing. But it's just really cool. But the technology is brilliant. It auto updates. It's a life logging tool that uses emojis. So based on your location and what you're doing with your phone at that time, it updates your status with emojis. And it shares it. And that you may say to yourself, that sounds like the worst thing ever. And that is kind of really what I said to myself at first. Mm-hmm. However, it's a lot more kind of to it than that. It enables you to create this kind of non-invasive, non-creepy life log of yourself and your friends. For instance, if you're getting coffee and as you're at the coffee shop, just puts cup of coffee, and then you can embed a little more information beyond it. But it's from Abdur Chaudhry, who was Twitter's chief scientist. He sold his company Surmise to Twitter in 2008. He started this company called Pushed, which is backed by BetaWorks and several VCs in the Valley. Which, of course, if you're the chief scientist in Twitter, you can start anything and get that. But this is their first public app to go out, and it's just really cool. I won't go all the way into it. It kind of gets smarter over time, and then you can go back and kind of you can put pictures in it, so you can use it kind of as a life logger. Use it as, but I've started using it, and it's actually the choices it makes and the things that the way that it kind of can also kind of guess at your life is really cool. And then it has a lot of privacy controls. So you don't necessarily have to.
Who do you share it with? Who do you like? So do you have to have other people that have this app, or what? How do you use it?
I'll be honest with you. I just found this app today, and like everything else that I get right now, I have it completely locked down.
I'm installing it so you can send things to me after.
So we can life log each other's with emojis, but it's kind of follows this trend that I've noticed in the app space. To use Yo for example, which we talked about several weeks ago, but where you've got these very basic ideas that seem really dumb, that can that have some really great technology behind it and are kind of scalable in a few different directions, and that people, but mostly what they are is they're the anti kind of Facebook where we're telling you how to use this. They're just saying, here's this thing, and it's letting people find their own use cases for it. And I think that is a really brilliant way if you have a product that you believe in and it's got some kind of neat technology and allows people to discover. And when people discover things about your brand, they become invested in it, and that's how you win. And I think that this is another example. Maybe a lot of people use this. Maybe it'll go away next month. But I think that there's some really interesting new directions that people are taking with this. Instead of saying, here's this thing and this is how you use it, I think that we have learned that end users are going to do whatever you don't want them to do. Mm-hmm. So maybe just let them do whatever they want and create a tool to enable that. And so that's kind of what I think is cool about it. And so right now, I don't know what it's logging. I'll be interested to go back and see if it knows that I'm podcasting. If that's true, I will uninstall it immediately.
I'd be really careful because in the ratings here it says infrequent, mild sexual content and nudity. So keep an eye out. You never know.
Because emojis are salacious.
Absolutely.
They can't. Some of the new ones coming out actually, they do have the middle finger and some other marijuana leaf, the new emoji set that's coming out with iOS 8. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, there is. So far, I'm real disappointed that you tell me that, Andrew, because really, I've seen no frequent mild sexual content, nudity, tobacco, drug use, or references, or crude humor.
Looking up for those.
There may be the crude humor involved with life logging my life. That may be about it.
Well, those are cool picks. I like these. I just installed Steven to check it out. So,
is that really what it's called? Just in the App Store, just Steven. It just says Steven.
Steven.
Does it actually say
Steven
life in your emoji life?
That's it. Steven with a V. Your emoji life again. And to Andrew at Zarfo's point, technology, marketing, not the same wheelhouse.
Oh, this is strange. It said my email address was already taken.
Uh-oh.
Maybe did I sign up for this already?
You know what you do. You reserve your name. I mean, if you're like me, I'm actually subscribed. I pay to subscribe to Beta List.
Yeah, so maybe that's what I did.
I've got things. I'm actually today. I subscribed to something on Beta List for bottle service in different clubs for hot girls in New Jersey. I don't even know why I reserved I don't even know why I reserved Flash Gagnon for that, but I did in case there's any hot ladies out there looking to get free bottle service. Yeah, you're not using my username.
These are cool picks. These are now. See, I know now. Andrew Cunningham, I know you have an iPhone. Will you be testing out any of these apps or giving them a shot?
Yeah, I will be. I'll have a look at the show notes and re-listen to the show afterwards and go in and grab some of these apps on the weekend. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. These two sound pretty fun. And go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was going to say I've heard you guys go through the apps at the end before, and it's really great to hear some interesting, different new apps that are coming out and download them and have a bit of a look.
Yeah, definitely. I love talking about the apps. It's always fun to do. And Andrew, you have one as well.
Yep, I'm going to be kind of quick. I know because we're going a little over here. Yeah. But a lot of people have probably used this one. It's called Runkeeper. If you're a fitness enthusiast, as myself and I know Jen are too. Mm-hmm. Jen, do you use this app by any chance?
I've used it before. Yeah, I like it.
It's great. It's actually really addicting. If you're into running, you like running outside. Obviously, it's not going to work with a treadmill because it connects with your GPS. And it'll log your run and your pace for every mile. And it'll show a map of where you've run for the day. And it'll log this. It'll keep a log so you can use it to scout out new trails. And it'll tell you how many miles you've run in a week. And one really cool feature that I like about it is that it'll log your PRs, or personal records. So if you have a personal record for like a fastest mile pace in a 5+ mile run, it'll alert you of that, and you can keep track of it. And it allows you to set goals. And instead of just going out and grinding out your run, it gives you something to strive for. So you're like, okay, it's time for my run. This is great. I'm going to go out, see if I break any records. It pumps you up. It gets you out, and it gets you more excited for a monotonous exercise that most people probably aren't that into.
Right.
So I really love it, and it works great if you have. I mean, I know I just got rid of my Note 2. I got a Moto X now, so I can actually, wear my phone on me when I go out for a run without having to, like lug around a brick. So I'm really excited about that.
No, that does make a difference. That having a smaller phone is a lot easier to get around with when you run. So I like it too. I think it's a great app, and I always need something that's extra motivation. And I love tracking myself when I do get out there. Just to see how fast I'm going, what my pace is, and how I can improve, and also just to see how far I'm going as well. So love that kind of stuff.
And it actually lets you tag music that you have installed on your phone, or not installed, but music that you just have stored on your phone within the app. Mm-hmm. It'll grab it from that directory and play it straight through the app, so you don't have to use a separate media player, which is also a very cool feature. They thought of everything here.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Great pick. Very good pick. And I know Andrew's. You already spoke about your app, so I'm going to give you another shot. Any app of the week? I think you wanted to talk about Zarfo, or which one?
To be honest with you, I don't have another app.
The other Andrew wrote that. I thought you wrote that down. I thought you wrote. Someone's messing. Andrew Nelson is messing with our show notes. So my apologies. Oh gosh. Well, I guess it's time to wrap up, you guys. So, Andrew, thank you for taking the time out to come with us. I know it's in the middle of a work day, Friday, last day of the week. So, really appreciate you taking the time. No,
it's not a problem at all. I've got to jump back in a second, get in with the team and see how we're all moving along. But it's great to be here. I love being on the show, and fantastic to chat to you guys.
Yeah, wonderful. And where can people find you online?
Yeah, sure. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter as Cunning Drew, and you can grab me on the Zarfo app at Andrew, and on the Rewind app at Andrew. And try and create a rewind, make it an amusing and funny one. The number of view count you have to beat at the moment is 100,000, set by Chris Voss for one of his ALS challenge videos, and we've had 1 million rewind views in the past week. So yeah, jump on there and create something cool.
Wow.
Awesome.
It's quite the competition.
I don't think I could ever beat Chris Voss. I don't know.
That video is pretty great too, by the way.
It is. It's really
the
funny.
one he's talking about, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Robert
really good.
Scoble's got one with about 65,000, I think. So he's kind of coming second at the moment, I think.
Yeah. Oh my. So, well, definitely the challenge is set, so we got to do it. So
exactly.
And Andrew, how about you? Where can people find you online? And thanks for being back on tonight.
Absolutely, and the best place to find me is probably on Facebook. It's my most used social network. It's facebook.com/cobblecat, that's COBBLECAT. And I have subscribers set up too, so you can follow me if you would like. I got a pretty decent subscriber crowd going on.
Oh, you're the man.
That's free. Well, yeah, you're beating me, so not as many as you, but I'm out to get you. I also have a Twitter at twitter.com/dcobblecat, because for some reason Cobblecat was taken. I don't know who the hell did that. I also have my LinkedIn, which is a lot more professional. If you're looking a little more clean-cut social network, it's linkedin.com/Andrew Nels.
Okay, excellent. So everyone check out Andrew, follow him, tweet to him. Follow him on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Chris, how about you?
Well, it depends what you're looking for. We've got, I'm on Twitter as Flash Gagnon. That's Flash Gagnon. That is not for the faint of heart. I also, things I see and write and hear and generally fall out of my brain are at flashgagnon.com. And my new project is designaria.org, DESIGNARIA.org, for helping companies with their branding and their messages. And I'm on Facebook at Gagnon like Mignon. So Gagnon like Mignon. So
I love it.
Yeah,
it just
like
cracks me up every time I see it. Just
for those of us that
right?
speak English, how do you spell that?
I have no idea. It's different every time. Facebook's not the place to see me anyway. I'm rarely there. And LinkedIn at Christopher Mark MARC Gagnon GAGNON if you want to read some really boring stuff. And I think that covers it.
Very good.
Not too many people use LinkedIn anymore, from what I've noticed.
I don't know.
Really,
I get a lot.
I think it's been their new connections app. Well, that's another show. Never mind.
No, I see so many stories on there, and just a lot of posts and people using that. You know, a lot of things in the new LinkedIn Pulse as well, and I don't know. Maybe it's just who I'm following. I don't know.
I just had someone connect with me that I sent a connection request to like 12 months ago, and I was like, "Oh, wait, this website still exists." Okay.
Oh, yeah, I love it though.
But I love it. Yeah, LinkedIn's great.
Yeah,
I wish more people use it.
Yeah, I think they will. I think more will. Yeah.
Maybe I'm hanging out with the wrong crowd. I don't know.
I think you just need to find more have more people in your connections, and you'll get there.
Find more professional friends.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm at jenniferruggiero.com, and for the show, we are at getnerdywithit.com. So also check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/getnerdywithit. We're on Google Plus as well, Twitter. All of our links are on our webpage, getnerdywithit.com. And hey, check us out on iTunes, and we're also on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spreaker. And we also have an Android app and iOS app, so please check that out.
Thank you for listening to Get Nerdy With It. Join us each week as we interview nerds talking about their passions.
Oh, nerds!
And be sure to visit us at getnerdywithit.com.